In the quiet town of Maple Hollow, nestled between meadows and sleepy hills, lived a cat named Whiskers. She was lean, grey with white paws, and sharp-eyed. Whiskers had earned her reputation as the best mouser in all of Maple Hollow. No rat dared to linger when her shadow crossed the alley. But Whiskers wasn't cruel. She hunted to eat, as cats do, but never more than she needed. Her motto was simple: no chase, no waste. Just beyond the bakery, hidden behind a cracked brick wall, lived a young rat named Whistle. He was a tiny creature, barely 6 months old, but his mind ticked faster than any clock in the town. He had shiny black eyes, quick feet, and an obsession with cheese, not eating it, but inventing traps that could snatch it from humans without getting caught. Whistle had a dream. He wanted peace between cats and rats, not just for safety, but because he believed both species had much to learn from each other. That dream had gotten his father caught in Whiskers' paws a year ago. Whiskers hadn't killed him, but she had marked him. Stay out of the bakery. His father had never fully recovered from the fear. And Whistle, young and bold, took it personally. He didn't want revenge. He wanted a conversation. One foggy evening, Whistle scurried out of his hideout carrying a white flag made from a scrap of napkin. On it, he had drawn a cat and a rat shaking paws. It was crude, but clear. Whiskers sat on a rooftop nearby, watching him from the shadows. Her tail flicked with curiosity. What was this foolish rat doing? Whistle stopped in the middle of the alley. Whiskers, he squeaked, trembling. I come in peace. The cat leapt down with the grace of a silk ribbon. She circled him. Peace? She purred. Is that a trick? No tricks, Whistle said, holding up the flag. I want to talk. One talk. If you still want to eat me after, I won't run. Whiskers narrowed her eyes. This was absurd. Rats ran. That's what they did. But she admired bravery. Speak, she said finally. But know this, I don't play games. Whistle nodded and told her everything. About his dream, his gadgets, his desire for peace. Whiskers listened silently, her ears twitching now and then. When he was done, she licked a paw and said, You're either a fool or a genius. Both, I think, Whistle replied with a shaky smile. Over the next few weeks, something strange happened in Maple Hollow. Whiskers and Whistle began meeting at night. At first, just to talk. Then to share stories, scraps of food, and even ideas. Whiskers taught Whistle about body language, how to read humans, how to sneak without triggering suspicion. Whistle, in return, shared his inventions. A pulley system for high shelves, a spring-loaded escape pod hidden in an old teacup, and even a mini raft made from corks. Whiskers still hunted rats, but never from Whistle's warren. In fact, she warned them of danger when she could. Slowly, the rats began to trust her. Whistle's dream, once laughed at, started to seem possible. A gang of rogue alley cats came into Maple Hollow, led by a scarred tomcat named Fang. He was brutal, clever, and had no interest in Whiskers' peace. He mocked her behind her back and challenged her in public. You've gone soft, Fang hissed. Playing with your food? That's not a cat. That's a clown. Whiskers growled. Better a clown than a killer. Fang wasn't amused. He declared war, not just on the rats, but on Whiskers too. One night, Whistle's warren was raided. Several rats were taken. Whiskers tried to stop them, but Fang and his gang were too many. She was outnumbered. Whistle escaped, but his home was destroyed. His father was taken. Now, it was personal, for both of them. The full moon rose over Maple Hollow, casting long shadows across broken pipes and shattered crates. Whistle crouched beside Whiskers on a rooftop, overlooking Fang's new lair, the abandoned mill on the edge of town. Inside, Whistle's father and 6 other rats were trapped in an old birdcage, guarded by 2 mean-looking alley cats. Fang had made it clear, any rat found outside Whiskers' protection was fair game. We can't fight them, Whiskers said grimly. Not alone. But we're not alone, Whistle replied, a spark in his eyes. Over the next 2 days, Whistle and Whiskers rallied a group of unlikely allies. Old Tom, a retired barn owl who owed Whiskers a favor. Pickle, a squirrel with a knack for sabotage. Even Muffin, the bakery dog who didn't like cats, but hated Fang more. The plan was simple. Distraction. Confusion. Extraction. Whiskers would lure Fang and his lieutenants away. Whistle and the others would sneak into the mill and free the prisoners. Then, with any luck, they'd all escape before the fight turned ugly. But plans, like cheese traps, rarely work the way you expect. Whiskers padded into Fang's territory and meowed loudly, drawing attention. I'm here, Fang, she called. Come face me. Fang, not one to turn down a challenge, charged out with his top fighters. Meanwhile, Whistle and the rescue crew snuck in through the vents. The rats worked fast to chew through the ropes holding the birdcage shut, while Pickle jammed the doors with nuts and pebbles. Everything was going smoothly until Fang caught on. He turned back just as Whistle was helping his father out of the cage. Traitor! Fang roared. You dare side with rats? Whiskers stood between them. I dare, she said coolly. The fight that followed was ferocious. Fang's claws flashed, but Whiskers was faster. They clashed in the shadows, rolling across the floor, hissing and striking. Whistle watched, heart pounding. He wanted to help, but he was small. Fragile. But not useless. He noticed something, a chain holding a dusty chandelier above Fang. With a running leap, he climbed the wall, chewed the rope, and shouted, Whiskers, move! She dove aside just as the chandelier came crashing down on Fang, pinning him. The room fell silent. Fang's gang fled into the night. Fang survived, but his pride didn't. He limped out of Maple Hollow, humiliated and beaten, not just by a cat, but by a cat who had teamed up with a rat. The town changed after that. The rats, once forced to live in secret, started working openly at night, cleaning up crumbs, organizing supplies. In exchange, the cats protected them from outsiders. The humans noticed fewer messes and even fewer pests. Whistle became a legend among his kind. Whiskers, once feared, was now respected by both cats and rats. One afternoon, they sat by the bakery window, sharing a warm breeze and a crumb of blueberry muffin. You were right, Whiskers said. We're better together. Whistle smiled. Took a lot of scratches to prove it. Years later, kids and pups would hear tales of the great truce between Whiskers the cat and Whistle the rat. They'd learn how courage isn't about strength, but about choosing trust over fear, even when history says otherwise. And somewhere in Maple Hollow, if you listen on a quiet night, you might hear a rat and a cat sharing stories on a rooftop, laughing at the stars.